The people, at least of South Africa, look like they're united, really, in celebrating Winnie's passing away.
Exactly, yeah. I thought initially myself that some of the international reports were pretty much over the top, just concentrating on the bad things she did. I really don't think those people understand what she went through and how South Africa was in the 1980s, and also the actual brutality that she suffered, not getting sanitary pads, for example, in prison, isolated, no contact with friends, etc., etc. We can't all be Desmond Tutus and Nelson Mandelas. There is room as well in struggles for people like Winnie Mandela, as flawed as she was. You need leaders like her as well to step into those fires. And I think that's what she did. She always maintained contact with the people, always had time for the poor. But as the previous reporter said, and as you know, she was also a very flawed person.
I know that you had the rare opportunity of interacting with her a couple of times.
More than anyone else, at least for me, she was the human face of the struggle against apartheid. She represented the reality and complexity of apartheid. I'd argue that Nelson Mandela, for all his greatness, for his undoubted role in preventing a race war in South Africa, did not represent the reality of apartheid. The white supremacist government had disappeared him into prison. South Africans didn't know how he looked. They didn't know how he sounded. He had become a phantom. So enter Winnie Mandela with her courage and, above all, her flawed humanity to be the face of the war against apartheid in the 1980s, when our country was really literally on fire. In the middle of this fire stood Winnie, urging the people to revolt, to fight, to resist like she was. She had the fury that the angry masses wanted, and maybe we needed that in our history at the time, as shocking as this might sound. This was fury that couldn't be provided for obvious reasons by Mandela, certainly couldn't be provided by people like Archbishop Desmond Tutu with his philosophy of turn the other cheek. She was a person of contrasting faces, always helping the poor, yet never slowing, flaunting her wealth, extravagant in dress and personality. She said on the one hand, everything I do for the people, yet she was a useless parliamentarian who hardly ever attended parliament to represent the interests of those people. She was the mother of the nation, yet she failed to protect the child activists entrusted to her care, and as the Truth Commission itself found, simply looked the other way when her notorious bodyguards murdered them. But Shaka, mother of the nation, well, you know what? Mothers make mistakes. Mothers are human beings, and Winnie was a human being for all to see.